There's work I want you to show me, Himparis and Elijah and Karandeep, in a very particular way. Do not just rush ahead. I will tell you when you can jump off the leash and be unchained and barrel ahead with math. So, this first page is a page where you can be unchained and barrel ahead and go and do the math. This is a punching stuff into a calculator exercise. If you borrowed a calculator from me, if you do not have your own calculator, I want those eyes of those people up here. Because if you're borrowing calculators from me, you need to be really clear on how they all work, because they all work a slightly different way. If you're doing exponents on a calculator, if you're using the TI, so that first question up at the top, 15 cubed. All of these calculators punch in 15 the exact same way, but they all cube things slightly differently. The TI has a squared button, but that's it. If you want to do more than squaring something, Malik and Angel and whoever else is talking, Dennis. If you want to cube something on the TI, you have to use this button here. It's this upwards kind of pointy little arrow thing, and you'd put a 3 there, and that's it, and you get 3,330 or 3,375. On the Casios don't have a, some of them do, some of them don't. Oh, this one does. It has a cube button. It has a squared button. Pick it up and just roll with it. But it also has this box button. This X to the box button is how you're going to use a bunch of different exponents. But it's important to recognize that with the box, the cursor on the Casio, stays up top. So you got to push the arrow button to get out of the exponent. And you'll get 3375. On the Sharp calculators, they've got a squared button, they've got an X cube button, but they've also got this Y to the X button over here on the edge. And it's this Y to the X button that brings up this symbol. We're going to cube the things, and we're going to get 3375. When we look at BEDMAS, because we're going to look at BEDMAS, we've got to be really careful how we use exponents with negative numbers. But for now, that's not going to be an issue. With whatever calculator you have, I would like you to do this page. Do not do any more than this page. Some of you have already blasted ahead. No, you cannot technically add the 6 and the 4 together. No, it's really not, Josiah. Because it's 6 to the power of 4 plus 4 to the power of 4. Guys, on these things, I want you to get comfortable punching the entire expression into your calculator. Don't do it piece by piece. Punch the entire thing into your calculator. And if you do it properly, your calculator will give you the result. Punch the whole thing in your calculator. See, look, Josiah, if I do this, I get 1552. But if I do what you said, 6 plus 4 is 10. Nope. To the power of 4 is 10,000. It's totally different. 10,000 and over a million are very different, Josiah. So, do this page, punch the entire expression into whatever calculator you have, and when you're ready, I will put the answers upon the screen. Some of you are already ready. That's great. Just breathe. Just sit and chill. Punch them all into your calculator. Do not blast ahead. I know, and that's great. I know you're ready. You're excited to move forward. That's awesome. If you have a single line display crappy little calculator like Josiah's got, I would encourage you to get a calculator. Attention. I got 47. So go get your phone. Get your phone. Go get your phone. Because on tests and quizzes, you don't know you're not going to be allowed to share. Hey. Get a good calculator. We want to display scientific calculator. Okay, so lots of you are done. These are the values that you're looking for. Take a look up on the screen. As you can see, I made some mistakes first block. Actually, there's $20. $20 calculator. Compare what you got with what I got. If you're struggling with the calculators, let me know. These are punch the whole expression in the calculators. Those are the values you should get. Yes. Okay. If you would like, if you are done and want to flip ahead, the next page is all about roots. Feel free to flip over and go ahead and look at the roots. Again, I do not want exact values. I want you to, when you're doing, if you're moving ahead to the roots, do the roots. I want them decimals and I want them rounded properly to 2 or 3 decimal places. Sorry? I want to go back and do them again. This is the danger with working ahead. I want you to, if you're going to move ahead, you've done the exponents, take a look at the roots. I want them rounded. Don't just cut them off. Properly rounded to 2 or 3 decimal places. In physics, we want decimal. You guys did exact values.
Wait, there's so much more.
Yeah, you got you've done that. So like square root of 8 is 2 root 2. You've done that. Okay, I don't want that. This class is decimals. Decimals.
You have been.
Oh, it's not decimals. I do not want the exact value. Yeah. 2 or 3 decimal places you choose. Everything rounded to 2 or 3 decimal places if there's a bunch of decimals. If there's no decimals, give me the value your calculator gives you. Good question. Because putting the 2 there is no different than having the square root. You can have the 2 or not. So just 5, yeah. No, on these calculators, you can do it in the order exactly as it's written. You do the root, you do the root sign first, and then you punch it in. So that now so that this expression looks exactly like this. This looks exactly like this. And now you would enter the result. So that's the path. Like that's why we like these guys better. This is everything you have to do back. This you can at least see that what you punched in is exactly what's written. Yes, but when we move on to bigger kinds of questions, you're more likely to make mistakes. Okay, so I think all of you guys have flipped to the roots page. So I want you to pause whatever it is you're doing, and I want to make a note here that I want you to write down. Up here at the top, I want all of these things, the note's going to go right here, round to 2 or 3 decimal places. That is what I want you to do. Excuse me. Thank you. Okay, and when you're ready for it, I'll throw the answers back up on the screen. Okay, let's go. Josiah, next. Crack him up. Yes. So punching calculator again. I want them to do it decimal places. You're ready to calculate. So on these calculators, you pass this, push the SD button, and it'll go back and put exact and decimal places. So if you're working with one of my Casio calculators, you need to push the SD button to jump back and forth between exact form and, oh yes, these guys here, and decimal form. I want them rounded. Don't just cut the decimals off. I want them rounded in 2 or 3 places.
Get a different copy.
No, no. You use that one. You use that one. They're both things. They're both different. You choose more. There are no decimals. Well, they punch the square to 60 or better. You round it to 7.75. Or you could round that to 7.746. You choose 2 or 3 decimal places. Yes. This is not 7.74. That would be 7.5 or 9. Properly 27975.
It's like
5 makes it 4 a lot.
let's say you got 60.
Do not just drop decimals, you have to properly round. Rank them all out. They are ready to go on the screen.
But it has to be.
Which?
If it's above, ladder above, as in no, like
Yes.
So for this one, if we rounded this up, we always put the
I want 2 or 3 decimal places. So 14.28 or 14.28. And everything rounded to 2 or 3 places. Yes. No, that would be only 1 decimal place. So yeah, I'm gonna give you an example. You have 3.26. 101. So rounding this thing 2 or 3 decimal places means you have to have something like base part of that one. If you're rounding to 3 decimal places, this is 1.
sorry, get off
This
this
is 1.
phone.
So this is awesome. 4 would say. 3 decimal places would look like this. 2 decimal places would say, okay, if I'm rounding to 2, I want to keep this one. So I look at the 4. 4 is less than 5, so the 6 stays a 6. One of these.
Okay, here are the answers you're looking for. Let me put them on the screen. Check your work. Make sure you're able to use the calculator properly. Boom. There they are. Comments, questions, concerns on anything? That's fine. You can round to 2 or 3 places. So which one are you looking at? So if you rounded it to 2 decimal places, that'd be 12.25. I did all mine to 3 decimal places. If you did yours to 2 decimal places, that's fine. What was the next? I don't know. Yeah. So you did these 4. So that's a 4. So that would just be 6. If you did yours to 2 decimal places, you might get different values, like slightly different, but that's fine. Good. Don't go too far ahead. Don't go too far ahead. The physics book you need is in the box. It's the one with the sum.
He was backing up.
Okay, we good? Let's move on. Okay, let's move on. Flip the page. Bed mass.
Here we go. So, order of operations, recall. Malik, put your phone away. Remember bed mass, brackets, exponents, division, multiplication, addition, or subtraction, and it's important to remember that what order do we do math in addition to the bed mass? There's a direction, left to right. Both are important. You can't just say bed mass, because sometimes that'll screw you up. Also left to right. Now, all of these things, Himparis wanted to do a bunch of these without a calculator, and that's fine. You are welcome to. The numbers aren't crazy, I don't think. But you are not, in everything we do in this course, you will have access to a calculator. So, what I want you guys to do is get used to punching these things into your calculator fully. If you punch it in exactly as written, it'll do everything for you. So something like this guy would be bracket 5, power of 3. If you're using the Casio, you can see that the cursor is still up there next to the 3. So you need to kick it out of there. Minus 4, close the bracket, divided by 11. So this is exactly this. I punched it into my calculator, and this is the why, Josiah, I make such a big deal about the 2-line display calculators. This and this look exactly the same. I know that what I'm punching into my calculator is what is written on the page, and I can go ahead and hit enter and I get my result. That number is 11. I want you guys, and this is going to sound backwards because your math teachers are like, nah, show all your work. Do it all piece by piece. Give me the steps. I want you to do this page, these 10 questions, I want you to do all of them, punching the entire expression into the calculator so that you get comfortable doing that. I want one expression in the calculator, which is just so backwards from how I teach math, but that's okay. This isn't math, this is science. We're just using the math. See what you can do with these 10 questions in a couple minutes. I'll throw the answers on the screen. Do not move ahead to the next page, because I am going to be particular with how the next 2 sections go. There is work I want you to show me in a very particular way on the next 2 sections.
know you get the concepts, but doing all the questions is how we catch you silly mistakes. Do all of the questions. Take the black Casio off my desk. There's two TIs. The TIs are very good calculators.
I like it.
You need to take the Casio off my desk. Make sure that goes back on my desk. Because that's mine. How are we doing? Questions, concerns? Reviews right here, or the key to the reviews right here. Here's the trick he wants you to do it. Here's the trick. Here's the trick. Means multiply. But processus means over 100. You can multiply and divide any order you want. So if you wanted 8 over 100 of 50, or 8% of 50, you can do this easily. You can do the same thing. This is 50% big. You can multiply and divide any order. So you gotta show them the trick. This is a great one. This is a great trick to have. The more mental math tricks you have, the better. It's a good one. Don't just screw with your buddy. But it's unkind. Okay, here are the answers. Take a look. Compare what you got with what I got. If you got anything different and you're not sure how, call me over. Let's take a look. These are the results that you should be expecting. You got a different value than I got. Call me over. Or figure it out. Okay, who needs a hand with fixing things? Good? Okay. Gentlemen, we good? Okay. Okay. Sometimes going to the bathroom takes a while. Good? Good? Anything we're good? Gentlemen? Good? Okay. Okay. If you are not done, the rest is for homework. Flip the page. Let us take a look at the next portion of this booklet. Here we go. So, the algebra you guys are going to do in this chapter is not overly complex, but it is still definitely there. Algebra is about finding what? What does the variable signify? The unknown. That's the word I want to put in here. It's about finding the unknown using symbols and mathematical operations. Often when you do this in math class, unless you're looking at word equations, like word problems, the context, there is no context. You're finding X, Y, or Z, and it's just plugging and chugging through the skills. In this unit, we're going to use the algebra skills you've learned in the past to find actual meaningful values. We want to find the speed at which something is moving. We want to find the height from which something was dropped. We want to find what the mass of the object is. And so we can use algebra to find all of that given other information. This physics unit is just a large exercise in word problems, which is going to freak some of you out, and that's okay. We'll figure it out together. To get the unknown alone, we want to isolate the variable by using opposite operations. How do we use opposite operations? Well, let's take a look. Powers and roots are opposite operations. If I have something squared, what do I do to it to get rid of the squared? I square root, because squaring and square rooting are opposite operations. If I have something squared and I want to get rid of the squared, I square root. If I have something square rooted and I want to get rid of the root, I square. They are opposite operations. This extends itself to any exponent and any root. If I have x to the 3 or x to the 4 or x to the 5 or x to the y, whatever it is, I would take the third root or the fourth root or the fifth root or whatever it is, the opposite of whatever the exponent is, and I would get the variable alone. In this unit, you're only going to have to deal with squaring and square rooting. Multiplying and dividing. These are opposite operations. Addition and subtraction. Opposite operations. If you have one and you want to get rid of it, do the other.
But you have to be very careful with these two for reasons I will show you on these questions down here on the bottom. The negatives. The negatives are going to screw people up all over the place. So I'll just do two of these as examples, and I'll let you play with them. And here, Himparis, Karandeep, Alejandro, Gemini, I want to make sure all of you hear me on this. Up until now, I did not require you show me any work. You're just punching things into calculators and you're good to go. I want you to start showing me the work here. Any algebra you do, I want to see the work. So I'll demonstrate what I mean. If I have x plus 7 equals 11, to get x by itself, I'm going to do what? I am going to do the opposite of adding 7. I'm going to subtract 7. And I want you to show me by writing it down. We're going to subtract 7 on both sides. Here, 7 minus 7 is 0. That's the whole point here, is you're trying to add things together to get 0, or you're trying to divide and multiply things to get what value? I'll do that one in a second. So x plus 7 minus 7, plus 7 minus 7 is 0. X plus 0 is x. That's the whole point of the algebra. We want to get the x alone. We're not just canceling, we're summing together to get 0. And on the right-hand side, 11 minus 7 is 4. The whole point is we're adding and subtracting to get 0. Be careful with the minus signs to make sure you're doing that properly. And I'll do one more. I'll demonstrate for you question number 7. If I have x over 4 equals 2, that fraction is just what operation? Division. Some of the grade 11s that I've been working with have never seen this before. The division symbol is just a fraction. A fraction is just division. Division symbol is a fraction with dots in the numerator and the denominator. So I have x divided by 4. If I want to get rid of the dividing by 4, what do I have to do? Multiply by 4. So how you write that out is we're going to multiply by 4 on both sides. On the left-hand side, the reason that we're multiplying by 4 is because 4 divided by 4 is what? What's 4 divided by 4? 1. And then what's 1 times x? Is just x. So on the left-hand side, we're left with x because 4 divided by 4 is 1. And on the right-hand side, Malik and Soham, stop talking, please. 2 times 4 is 8. And if Angel was talking there too, I don't know. Shh. Okay, crank out these other questions. Because it's you guys who are talking and not paying attention who say you know everything are where the mistakes are going to come from. But this is grade 8, and so by grade 10, you should be better with this. Crank out these other 6 questions. On your market, set, go. Yeah. Yes, it will be up there momentarily. You want me to come take a look? Let's come take a look. You have to show me your work. I'm just going to tell you to do it again. Show me the work. Why? You want to get x alone, so you want to include the minus as part of the 60. You could still, or you can just make that negative 6. Like negative 6 divided by negative 6. Do the one step. Question. Go ahead. Do not move to the substitution stuff. Yes, I do. Do not move to the substitution stuff yet. Okay. Lots of you are done already. That's great. Here are the answers. Comments, questions, concerns?
Compare what you got with what I got. Phones away. Compare what you got with what I got. You don't need to jump to your phones. Just live in the moment, embrace where you are, relax. That disease that is social media will be there when you're done. There's a greater cancer on this earth than social media. Yes, Gemini. 6. Yes. This guy? Properly? Oh, okay. So this is -2 times x. Okay, comments, questions, concerns on any of these? The 2 questions on here that I managed to get D block with first period were these 2. Question number 4 and question number 8. We want to be really deliberate. How? What were, okay, look at question number 4. What do you think the mistake is that students make all the time with a question like 4? They wrote down -2. Because they look, they say, oh, this is plus, I need to subtract. But if you think about what you're actually trying to do, Luca and Josiah, if you think about what you're actually trying to do, you can get away from some of those mistakes. You're trying to get rid of the -2, and the -2 is being added. This is exactly the same as writing it like this. And this is the way students see it. They go, oh yeah, this is easy. X minus 2 equals 8. This and 4 are the exact same question. I just wrote it in a different order. So when you've got something negative being added, you need to make sure that you add to get rid of the negative. And I think all of you did. Great. And then a question like number 8, you want to make sure that you bring this negative sign into the denominator so that when you multiply by a negative value to get rid of that minus sign. But lots of you did it perfectly, and we're good to go. Okay. When you're ready, flip the page. Let's look at how I want you to show me your substitutions. Here we go. Yes. So in this section, and lots of what we're going to do, you guys are going to substitute in values for variables before you actually do any solving. And the ones that I'm going to give you here now are way more gross than the things that we're actually going to do in the unit, but I want to make sure that we're good with what we're doing. And I want you to show me really clearly what you're substituting before you actually go ahead and solve anything. And here's how I want you to do it. With a question like a letter A, I've got x plus c, but x is 14 and c is 8. So what I want to see is I want you to see, okay, well, if x is 14, right below the equation, we're going to put a 14 where x was, plus, well, where the c was, we're going to toss the 8 in there, and then you can actually go ahead and ram that thing through your calculator and show me that that thing is 22. It's not overly difficult, but that's what I want to see. It gets more interesting when we start multiplying or putting exponents in. Let's jump to a question like C, where I've got 9x plus 5c. What I want to see there is that you replace the variables with sets of brackets that your values then go in. So 9x plus 5c, that's going to be 9 bracket, and x is 8. So we're going to shove an 8 into that bracket, plus 5, replace c. Because we're multiplying, I want to replace the c with a set of brackets, and we're going to put the value for c into those brackets. And now that's the thing that we're going to solve. Slide down to question H. Because H is another interesting one. When we have exponents, we need to be really deliberate about how we treat those. So this is going to be b plus x squared, but b is -4 and x is -10. So we're adding here. The b doesn't need to go into a set of brackets. There's nothing being multiplied with the b. We can just toss the -4 there. But because the x has an exponent on it, I want you to make sure that you're putting brackets there. The exponent goes on the outside, and then the value that you're substituting in goes inside those brackets. So we're going to toss the -10 in there. Because what's -10 squared? -10 squared means -10 times -10. Negative times a negative is a positive, and 10 times 10 is 100. If you don't put the brackets there,
and you just punch this thing into your calculator, what your calculator will do is this. You'll have negative 10 squared versus negative 10 in brackets squared. We already said that negative 10 times negative 10 is positive 100. If you punch this into your calculator, BEDMAS says your calculator is going to do the exponent first on the 10. 10 squared is 100, and then it will multiply the minus sign onto it. Because that is technically what negative 10 squared is. So this would give you negative 100. These results are different, and you need to be really deliberate about how you use brackets when you're punching these things in. Okay, so show me the substitution, and then you can ram it through your calculator, and away you go. You guys, I want you to do this page and the next. And then when you're ready, I've got answers to show you. On your market set giver. Cool. Discuss with the people that you're sitting with. Compare your answers with theirs, so that you at least either you're getting them wrong together, or one of you will catch the other's mistakes.
That's what I got wrong.
Going. Have a task. There's nothing. I want to see work. Show me the work. If you don't show me work, you will not get full credit even for a correct answer. You have to show me the work. Hello, Steven speaking. Hey, what's up? Yeah, I bet. I can do that. Okay, bye. The middle office on the right hand side. When you're ready to check your work, let me know. I want you both pages. Yeah, on the second page. That'll be the it for the math review. They should be. Don't erase the first one.
Oh yeah.
So what you did was you dropped the brackets when you were done with this one. You had negative 81 minus 72 minus this. But it shouldn't be that. It should be, and it should be positive 81. You're not doing what I told you to do. Put brackets where the Z was, and then that negative 9 is going to be positive. You want to make sure you're using brackets. Because you're not using minus brackets. Subtraction. Bottom left, bottom right, yeah. The sharp calculator doesn't matter. They'll figure it out. Do you guys care? Okay. What's going on? Sorry? Why is CAF closed? Oh, frick, is it really?
Yeah, with the bistro.
No.
Thursday, they're going to the.
Okay, here's the answer to the first page. Yes, sir. Okay. Hey, wow, so much problems with what I just heard there, Dennis.
Sorry, what was the question? Okay. There was 2 words I don't want to hear. Okay, compare what you got with what I got. On the first half. Why are you on your phone? You don't need to listen to music, you can do math. No, on your phone. How do you have your phone to do the calculator? Great question.
Where's your phone?
And the thing. Well, don't just change it, figure out where you made mistakes. What question was it? No, yeah, never just change it. Okay, so you have this is the work you did, negative 48 plus 12. It's not negative 48 plus 12, because that's a negative 3. 4 times negative 3. Well, the value for the math. Yes, you should do the second page. There is a second page to this. Make sure you jump to there as well. Show me your work, man. No, the way I want it. The brackets that are missing. I am going to be that neurotic about this. So this is negative 10. and then you're going to take negative 10 times negative 10 is positive 100. That's why the brackets are so important. If you didn't put the brackets there, it would be negative 100. Minus 4 is negative 104.
I thought it was 104 because
It would be negative 104. No, you have to use the brackets when you're doing the substitution. It's positive 96. Gotta use the brackets properly. Show the work the way I want it shown. Let me read on.
Instead of using a time,
Okay, I'll flip the page and give you the answer to the second page. Okay, I won't.
Actually, I could just use these. Let's do distance paper clips. Yeah.
bro, it can't be that bad.
What did you do? It's because you're the right.
Okay, here's the second page. Compare what you got with what I got. Hello, what's up?
1 second. Okay, who's got questions about this? Whenever you're substituting a letter, the multiplication or exponents, you have to put brackets there. Okay, these ladies have an announcement for you. Listen up.
I run working from the wall. We're from leadership, and it's like an announcement about Storm the Wall that's coming next Tuesday. Storm the Wall, the theme is tropical, if you couldn't tell, and Storm the Wall is one of the biggest events. So there's 2 parts to Storm the Wall. One is the race where you're trying to get the best time to win the prize. You can either go solo or in a group of 4. If you haven't signed up, they said use QR codes around the school and get as many people as you can to sign up. If you have and you haven't got the form, these are going to be in the rotunda at lunch today and tomorrow. And you need to have these in by Monday next week if you want to participate in this. The other aspect of the event is the fair itself with lots of bouncy castles, lots of game, and lots of food. So please,
Sweet. See you later. Toss, you can tack it up on the board over there. Okay, get going. Fix the mistakes. Fix the mistakes. Make sure you punch that. Hey. Don't just correct the work. I want you to actually show me the work.
Did anyone read blogs?
Don't be sloppy and be cheap, right? Exactly where they are. Okay, if you have finished those questions, you may exchange my calculators for your phone. You don't get a phone back unless I get a calculator back. That's it, no. Dennis can come get it when he gives you my calculator back.
He never did.
Well, why do I have his phone?
I put it over there.
Okay, go ahead. So am I going to calculator back?
Yeah.
Okay. Dennis, I want you to give me Lucas' calculator.
No, it's my calculator.
But it's not one of those like smart calculators.
Okay, I still got a couple phones and I'm short some calculators. Okay, when the bell goes, you may also go have a super new day. We start physics for real tomorrow. Tomorrow is tutorial, yes. If you need to write the biology test, you can be here. Tutorial tomorrow.
I will figure this out later.
Okay. Okay, so on Angel, between the three of you, it's destined to get back to where it was. And that cloth needs to be set back up the way it was. Thank you.
What the heck? Come on, this you?
Okay. This is mine. Hello, Dwayne. How are you? Are you ready for this? If you borrow a calculator from me, next time you have to give me your phone. And I moved your stuff over there. Questions, or are you going to start? Questions, or are you going to start? Yes, you do. Okay. I'll let you go. Okay, sounds good. So you're going to write tomorrow next for us? Yeah. Okay. Okay, sounds good.